gentlemen, the state is prepared to offer you a deal.
Righty-o. Okay, folks. So, welcome back to another thrilling installment of Warframe Wednesdays. Oh, that's right, this has talking in the soundtrack. I forgot. Um, Suffice it to say, here we are. Oh, hush you. It's too bad, the soundtrack is killer. It's the Cyber City 080808 English dub soundtrack, which I would honestly argue is better than the original Japanese. As is the dub, actually. There are not many times when I will ever say that, but holy spinoli. They give their all, saying all sorts of vile language. In any case, so yeah, we got Lavos. I managed to get all the parts like a day after my last stream, and I got them together, and I just had him finished like yesterday. So he's leveled up part of the way. I don't have an opinion on him at this point, though. He looks cool, but mechanically I'm just unsure, I guess. Also got the Cedo. It did not take very long. What was the thing that I wanted to put on here?
Wouldn't you fucking know it?
Oh yeah, real all audience appropriate there, Frag. I remember things way too late. You tell him, Gogol. I don't know why I'd put Hunter Munitions on here. A 30% chance to work on a 20% chance thing. Actually, you could make the Cedo work as a critical weapon. In fact, you'd probably want to do it as a critical weapon over a status weapon, because it really doesn't do the status thing very well. Status per projectile at 0.4%. What is the status? Oh, actually, the status for the, and I believe semi refers to the little discus it shoots out. That's actually pretty good. 57% status chance. That's not half bad. Absolutely terrible crit, but what can you do, really? So it's different damage properties. It does slash, not puncture. Interesting. Alright. That'll bear fiddling with. I also finally got my Kuva Shieldegg.
Well put together, operator.
That took more time than any of that other stuff put together.
And make the Lotus proud.
Oh, what do I want to put on here? That's a good question. Probably another V polarity. because I can always use another V polarity for condition overload or blood rush. I have the melee ribbon mod there. I should really get that unveiled before I do this thing again. I really should. I also have a Kuva Brak not quite in the pipe. That took even longer to get as a Kuva Lich than... Oh, I have to put on sigils on this thing. That took longer to get as a Kuva Lich than it did for me to actually wrap up my previous Kuva Lich. Which would be hilarious if there was anything funny about it at all. Then again, you've got, what, like 16 weapons that it could possibly be at any given time, and the only rule is that they don't repeat twice in a row. I think. That is the... Or is it 3 times in a row? I don't want that. I want Regalia, back Sigil, and I want Steel. Steel. Crank up the alpha so that it's visible. Not that I'll ever see it. And then front Sigil can be, I don't know, whatever I want it to be. I'm not going to do blood, unless I make the blood not red. Yeah, that looks pretty bad. We're not going to do that. Oh, actually, that looks pretty good. That kind of looks like a chemistry set, I guess. Either that or do the Grandmaster Sigil, which is always the easy route to take. Or the Legacy Mastery Sigil. That's true, because that's a relic now. We don't get to see that anymore. I admit that the new ones look pretty good. They look pretty classy, but Legacy's where it's at. Sorry. I don't even remember what the prominent sigil is from. Oh, Twitch, probably. Let's crank up the alpha on that, so you can actually see it. Wow, that is still completely invisible. Let's go with the Sykuta Prime. Or whatever the other one was. Oh, you can get the Snake Sigil? Pfft, easy. Wow, it's still basically not visible, though. And I need to tweak it to the right a little so it centers up there. If I rotate it that way... Ah, okay, I see. It just isn't visible at all no matter what I do, is it? Defaults.
The stars are not in alignment.
You hear that? The stars are not in alignment. Well, they were, though. Haha. Yeah, whatever. So it jukes to the right a lot. It's not centered to begin with. Yeah, that's just gonna drive me insane every time I have to look at it. So we're gonna center it up on his chest and then, or his neck rather, and hope for the best. All right, we're done. I'll worry about coloring him once I have him up at rank 30, which I'm not quite at. Oh no, I am at it. Okay. So we're going to color him now. We want different colors. What's the opposite of that? Probably a blue. We got a bright blue, right? Yeah. Or we could go with a... it's almost a little too mellow. Give him a slightly colder scheme than I normally do. What do we got? Let's go to classic and roll around. Okay, so it's that portion there. That's kind of a darkish black-gray. Well, we want something light. Not that light. Not that light. Maybe we'll go with something darker then. Like a burgundy. I'm not sure what color to do with that. That at least shows up color-wise. We can make that a bright orange. I've got like a redder orange. There we go. That stands out, doesn't it? And we'll make that, those are what the metallic accent highlights, we'll make that the blue, because it clashes, and we clash. As far as energy, we'll leave that at default for now until I figure out what I want to do with it. That works. Oh, I see. The glass on there looks like it got the bluish tint. Material in it did not. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Oh, I need to give him a Cyandana. Lavos skin? Are they planning to have a skin for him already? That'd be interesting. Lavos is the new frame. Sorry, Kazong, I didn't see you were there. Lavos is the new frame that they added in the current event that's going, Operation Orphix Venom. There is not yet any word as to how he'll be available after the event is done. But he's pretty easy to get. He doesn't take a ton of effort. His parts drop during the event, during the endurance runs, and on top of that, you can buy his parts from a vendor, which I'll show off on Deimos. So you have to have made enough progress to be at Deimos. The event mostly revolves around using a necromech, but they give you ones for free if you don't have one. And you can now buy them if you really wanted to. They're kind of a pain to farm, but not as hard to farm as the necromech weapons, which are unbelievable pain to farm. I still don't have one of the. I still don't have either of the other ones that don't drop with the mech itself. Pretty dumb. Pretty dumb how hard those are to farm. He's pretty different though. Most frames, all but Hildren require energy to use abilities. Lavos doesn't. He does not use energy at all. He just has cooldowns. It's odd. I'm still kind of figuring him out. He hasn't meshed with me. I don't dislike anything about his kit, other than the fact that I can't just spam abilities willy-nilly, which is pretty much how you play the game up until now. What do we got? What do we got? Attachments. What looks good on this, man? Oh, the shoulder guards are their own thing. Oh, but I like those. I like the little chemical gas tanks, or the vials, or whatever they are. So I won't be removing those. Hopefully they'll add some armor. My biggest difficulty with Lavos is I briefly took him into a steel path or high difficulty mission, and it did not go especially well. Like, being able to inflict all the status in the world is fine and dandy, which he can do. But when you can only do, like, a nuke every so often, and you can't really kill things beyond a certain level, it seems sort of questionable. You can do those things with him. He can be very strong. But he's not as easy to use for that higher level content, I found. He is fairly durable, though. I'll give him that. He's got a pretty meaty health pool, and a very meaty armor pool as well, which is nice. His shield, not so much. I don't even know what I want to put on this, man. I can't think that far ahead. What even is that? I don't even know what that chest plate is. Well, we're putting it on him now. Left leg. What do we got that looks like it would go with the theme? Oh, I know. Where are you? Well, those look kind of like crap. We're not doing that. I can always do the EOS Prime spurs. Those go... the EOS Prime spurs go with everything. It's uncanny. No. Well, no. See, that actually looks pretty good. I don't even know what these are from. Yeah, we're going with that. When you wind up getting enough plat from, like, just selling stuff on the market willy-nilly that you don't want, you can buy cosmetics like crazy. For ephemera, I don't know. I want to do festering ephemera, it's kind of gross. The spinneret one looks really classy, but it's just practically invisible most of the time. Oh. I forgot I had this. Snakes, obviously. Yeah, there we go. And we'll copy the main colors. That's better. That clashes atrociously, and that is how we like it. And now for a Cyandanum. There's one here that looks kind of snaky. Where is it? Is that it? I can't even see that. He's already got his own coattails. I can't see anything. This is very important, I swear. Oh, that could work. Kind of overlays it. Actually, he had his own, didn't he? I don't know what it was called, though. Oh, there it is. This is so important, I swear. The most important part of Warframe is customizing your Warframe. Yeah, this will be fine. It's brightly colored. That's how we do.
Do you remember that time when we were playing Cyberpunk and the game didn't crash after 5 minutes? It was a crazy time, Gogol. I miss those days. I wish we were still doing that kind of work.
Don't mind me. I'm muttering away to a completely different script at this point. So we want to see the guy who sells things for the event. So we're going to do that.
Hey, good shooting. I see you haven't lost your touch.
I see you haven't lost your touch. I should really show that on one of these streams. Oh, that's right. I need to change my operator because I don't need Xeneric energy at all. I knew that. What am I doing? Let's fast travel there. Hello. Oh, I need to actually...
So good to see you again.
Yes, and a lot of them.
Okay, let's begin.
Browse wares. What does he have that I need? Practically everything. I already have that. I don't need that. What do I need? I don't need that. I have that. Oh, so I don't actually need anything from him. Never mind, I've wasted my time. Oh, yeah. It's from... Was this the... Not Wolf of Saturn 6, the one after that. It's pretty good. It's very Guyver, which I approve. And it has dreads, which is awesome, which is only on female operators for some reason. Let me go somewhere where it's actually lit up and you can see the damn thing. But yeah, it's pretty classy. And I've got like a goofy golden belt coming out of it because I had the accessory. You can't see any of the fun facial accessories. I had another color scheme for this one that made it look kind of different, but I don't know if I still have that color scheme saved. Appearance, let me check. Oh, that's not actually the one I was looking to do. And that's showing up as blue, not red, or blue, not gray. I had a more Ultraman kit. I don't know what that is. That's horrible. I wish I had never done that. But yeah, it's pretty classy. It's all about the cosmetics. Ah, that face will haunt my nightmares. Fast travel to father. Here we go. Operation Orphix Venom. I do actually need to buy a spare Neuroptics.
I can use those. Probably the only person in the system who can.
So that I can build a spare Lavos
I've been keeping some special stuff in
to
reserve.
trade in. For what's it called, Helminth, which I need to check actually. That's actually what I'm going to wind up having to do a lot of today is farming up Warframes that I don't have spares of at the moment for Helminth, and I'm not looking forward to it because it's going to take a million years. Okay, I want that. I really want that, but can't fit it. I don't know what that is. Electrifies enemies within 20 meters for 3 seconds, dealing 300 electricity damage when shields are depleted. That could be okay, except it won't kill anything. That isn't bad, probably. I don't know where I would fit it on. That I can definitely work with anything that isn't stationary, and you're just good in general. Pair that with this and you're pretty much golden. Necromech Repair is phenomenal. Restore 10% of your Necromech's health per second over 3 seconds when health drops below 20%. And that will happen with some frequency. And then it's got a 15-second cooldown, so it can't happen too often. But by then, you can either have gotten out of there or whatever. That's not as essential. I don't need shield cooldown.
Next, you're a broken man on a Zennerhast beer, telling war stories to Tenno, who politely pretend to listen.
I'm sorry, but Father, this guy, talks a lot of shit. He says a lot of stuff. He says many things. Very few of them are useful. And then here are all the various arcanes. They're all available, but it will take forever to grind them up. Since you only get, on a good max run of endurance, say 2100, I think. Yeah, like 2100 of the trading resource. Whatever it's called. What is it called? Phasic cells. You only get like 2100 per run, and it's 800 to buy one of these, and you need like 22 to max one out. So 22. How many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. Or does it jump straight up to 11? Yeah, I think it's 22 or 23. So assume worst case scenario, it's like 23. You need 23 times 800. That's, let's get a calculator because my brain doesn't want to do math because I just had coffee. 23 times 800 equals, you need 18,400 just to max out one of these expensive ones. Have fun with that. For definition, that is divide by 2100. Call it 9 runs. 9 good runs, each of which takes an hour. So you can grind up and get one of these maxed out in a day, if that's all you're doing that day, including not eating. So that's fun. We're probably not going to be doing that, because we don't hate ourselves that much. Hi, Kayla Fowler. How are things today? Thank you for tuning in. While I'm at it, I'm going to grab these cosmetics here. These are expensive. I don't even have the weapon this goes to. I'm getting it so I don't have to worry about it later. And I do have that, so I will buy you. And... oh, I did have a spare BP. I don't know for sure that I can sell these. I will probably do that at some point. They aren't probably worth much, but... look at you while I'm at it. Why not? I should already have both of those. I do. Isn't that nice? And yeah. Do I even have the resources for all of these? I think I do. I do. Wow, except for Argon, but Argon's easy. Argon is so easy to get. We're not even going to worry about it. Since I've got to get Argon for something else anyway, I'm going to buy that. Even though I could just... I've got to grind for resources to get spares of these mods anyway. So we'll do that then. I was going to... no, I can't build one of them because I don't have the resources. So I'm not going to worry about that. What I am going to worry about, though, is opening up this documents folder here. Where's Warframe? There's Warframe. Where are you? Helminth frame checklist. There we go. I knew I had it here somewhere. Alrighty. So I've got my little love notes here to myself that I wrote up after an hour or so of fumbling over the list of Warframes I actually need to get. For my Helminth. I already have this Ash ready and waiting to go. So we'll throw him in there. Make sure mine is fed. It is not. I'm glad I checked, otherwise I would be upset. That is a lot of overlapping sound sources that is making my ears bleed. Oh wow. Just have to make sure these are actually replenishing the amounts I want them to. Yes, very good. Very good. No. Yes. It's full already. I don't have to worry about it. Good. So here I'm just feeding it resources out the yin-yang, because I don't need all of them. Oh, I don't need chat block capacitors. God. I only need like 2 of those ever. I've got my Helminth maxed out. It did not take very long. You basically just keep subsuming frames and feeding it, replacing resources, and you're pretty much good by the time you get to like 10 frames in or so. Or 10, but yeah, because I've got a lot of frames in there. It takes time, but you'll get there. You just have to have the resources to feed it. So it's a resource sink for older players like myself, who've been there a while. For newer players, it'd probably be pretty significant. You'd consider it a late game activity. And now I no longer have this spare ash frame. However, once he's done being eaten, subsumed, sorry, absorbulated into the wall of flowers I have. Each flower represents a Warframe that has been subsumed. Once that is done, I will be able to use his shurikens on any frame I choose, for what value that brings me, which is some. And I already had an extra ash, so it's not like I was losing anything. So let's get out. Wow, I don't even remember his name anymore. Lavos. So I can fiddle with him a little more. Right now I've got kind of an all-rounder build, I think. And I'm actually using Umbral Fiber and Umbral Vitality, something you'll never see again. It is nice. So each frame, and it takes a while to unlock. It took me a long time to get after it had become available. But it's pretty rad. Each frame has one ability that that will get added to this pool of abilities. Here, I'll go into it a little bit. So each frame has one ability after you subsume one. After you subsume it, and you can't subsume prime frames. You can only subsume regular frames. So I've just been building extras instead of using the ones I already have. And you can add it on. There are limits and conditions. Let me actually get a frame I want to put an ability on, because Lavos is like the worst one to even pick for this at the moment, because he's basically losing out on elements that he can swap. So we're going to bring... who was I planning on putting one on anyway? Mesa I'd already done. Mirage I might have been wanting to do one on. Baruch, was it? Was it Baruch? Might have been Baruch. Sugar. I don't remember now. It's either Mirage or Baruch. It must have been Mirage, right? Right? It's Mirage. You can infuse abilities on existing frames. That's not an issue. I don't care about the assist. So to do that, so I've got a list of abilities here, some of which are from Helminth itself, like Energized Munitions is from Helminth himself, whatever. which I've named Shub-Nuggerath because HP Lovecraft, haha, lol. Ugh, I can't believe I said that. But so I've subsumed Frost, and he gives Ice Wave. Each frame only gives one of their abilities, and that's all predetermined. You can't put, say, Snow Globe on another frame. If you subsumed Frost, it would always be Ice Wave no matter what. For better or for worse, mostly better. Some abilities are of more questionable value than others. What I could do is Quiver, because I think that might actually change how Eclipse works, but don't hold me to that. I have never tried it. So I'm probably going to give that a whirl. That's right, I have to actually feed him to replace the resources I just used. But basically, you'll do... So I'll do Quiver, why not? I can't No, I can afford to. It just means I've got to put more into it later. Whatever, we'll do it. So we will infuse it, and you have to replace one of your Warframe's abilities. In this case, I'll replace Prism. Or do I want to do Sleight of Hand? If I'm doing Loadout 1. If we're doing Loadout 1, I'll do it on Sleight of Hand on Configuration A, which should be my Strength and Duration build. Which I realize now is not going to do me a whole hell of a lot of good with the other, but it doesn't matter at this point. And it just costs resources, admittedly a lot of them. So now, I no longer have Sleight of Hand on my Configuration A slot. I have Quiver instead. Which will make me invisible, because it has Cloak Arrow. Yeah, it does. Yeah, like the most busted... most busted ability in the game ever is to be invisible, for any reason. It doesn't matter what ability gives it. But, oh, it's only 172% duration. Ah! It wasn't the duration build. Ah! I made a huge mistake. It's okay, you can revert it. It's not permanent. It just, you're out the resources that you use to make it happen. That's okay. I'll keep it there for now, and then ask myself the question of why I did it a week later. Abilities are often changed, so they don't retain their same, they don't work exactly the same way. For example, Roar. Roar is less effective than it would be on Rhino, if Rhino were using it. So it doesn't provide as much of a damage buff, but it is still a damage buff, and not bad at all. So, do kind of recommend. But there's an additional caveat on top of that, where on certain specific frames, Rhino, Mirage, Chroma, and there's gotta be at least 2 other exceptions that I can't remember off the top of my head, so but I can't remember what they are. You can only replace a very specific ability with these, because otherwise it would be stacking power on top of power on top of power and be kind of ridiculous. So, like, you can't do having both Roar and Eclipse on Mirage at the same time, even though Roar is diminished. So you have to replace, if you want Roar on your Mirage, you would need to replace Eclipse, and the trade-off simply isn't worth it. It just isn't. I don't care what anyone says. It's just not worth it. I could see some fringe cases where it could be worthwhile on a Mirage, when it's like, oh, I want to get the damage buff. I'll accept having a weaker damage buff, but I'll always be able to get the damage buff, as opposed to having either the damage buff or the damage resist from Eclipse. I could sort of see that there. Sort of see that. I wouldn't do it, is my point, personally. Although I guess for Eidolon hunts you could, but now the meta, I believe, revolves around whoever's killing the Eidolon nodes is using a Necromech anyway. So that's its own can of worms. We're not going to go into that today. I am planning on hopping back into the Eidolon meta at some point, but not today. But there are some gems that you can get from various infused frames. A lot of the abilities are kind of like, okay, whatever, big deal. Quiver is not one of them. Quiver, you can have either you can use Cloak Arrow and Noise Arrow. Noise Arrow is crap. Sleep Arrow would have been 1,000 times better, but whatever. There are other abilities that can do sleep. You have Cloak Arrow, and that's what counts. Cloak Arrow is phenomenal. It's just great. It's just great. Admittedly, you're stationary while you're invisible, but you're invisible. It's kind of great. There's another. Silence is pretty rad. Silence can be very useful because you get the damage buff by using the augment. What's another good one worthy of note? I'm actually using Spectral Rage from Gara on Hildren at the moment to generate extra energy orbs. It's sort of unnecessary, but it works for me for the specific use that I have for it. You can use Nyx's Mind Control. A really good ability is Breach Surge that you get from Wisp. Sure, it's not the fat flowers, the buff flowers, but Breach Surge is low-key unbelievably good because it blinds in a large radius, and enemies that are blinded can make little sparks come out of their heads like Pack Seeker bolts from the Kit Gun arcane, and he's pretty strong. Pretty strong. So if the blind isn't getting them killed from you murdering them to death, they're dying horribly from the sparks being sent out into a crowd. So it's pretty good. There's a lot of frames you could find use for that on. Dispensary from Protea is great as just a general, I had an ability on a frame that I was never using, so I just want to make it easy so that I'm always able to get ammo, energy, and health at some point. You put Dispensary on there. Firewalker is great for anyone who wants to move fast and leave behind a trail of fire. Firewalker from Nezha. It's pretty good. Lull is your all-purpose sleep ability from Baruch. You just put them all to sleep in an area around you. Done. They take a nap. It's nifty. None of these carry along their given, like if there's some additional synergy effect attached to them on the frame they come from, that's not going to be present here. So a good example of that is on Lavos. Lavos grants Vile Rush, where he kind of scoots along the ground and leaves behind some DOT spots, damage over time spots on the ground. And ordinarily you can either hold or tap, depending on your control configuration, the button, and it'll infuse your next ability with ice or cold damage. You don't get the infusion aspect on other frames. So that's gone. It's basically just doing Hydroid's forward rushing ability, but it leaves ice behind. So it's kind of... Okay. The converse, unfortunately, is also very true for Lavos. If he replaces one of his abilities, he can't imbue that element, and we'll go over how that works. Again, I'm still sort of getting the hang of him. So Lavos is an interesting duck. Let's just pick a Robbie Rando mission here. Oh, heck, not even Robbie Rando. Let's do... Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that at all. Well, we're going to do this. We're going to do the sortie for today. I don't think I'm going to use... I'm not going to use Lavos for the boss. Because Sortie Vayhek is not fun. Not fun to fight. Without certain specific equipment.
Location reached.
So Lavos, I just forgot, he doesn't use energy. So his 1 is a whip. It does toxin damage.
This will take a moment.
His 2, I didn't want to do that. His 2 does that. Does DOT spots behind. His 3 shoots out a Thingus. That does things. Like reducing cooldowns, actually. So it's pretty good. And it does damage all the way, ho ho ho. His 4 is a nuke. That, like, hit nothing there. Okay, it hits some things. Now, all that's fine and dandy. He's really basic in mechanics. But where he gets interesting... I don't even know what I do with energy orbs when I pick them up, to be honest. Do they reduce cooldown? I really don't know. Where he gets interesting is if you combine elements. So, if you've ever played Magicka, or the most recent Gauntlet game that wasn't called Diablo 3. Cough, cough. Diablo 3 is a Gauntlet game. Fight me. You combine elements, and now that did viral, as well as toxin, incidentally. And that's corrosive, so if I do that in my 2, I leave behind a bunch of pools of corrosion on the ground.
Got to find a terminal.
That also should do cold damage, but nobody was nearby. Stand on that, please. Thank you. So, they took damage from that, and now if I do, say, 3 and 1, no.
Terminal spotted.
Ah, shoot.
And prepare to
Let's do 4 and 1, and do my 3.
Marines inbound.
What I need to do is change my duration, get that boosted. Because I have high range. Right now I'm not being especially effective at the moment, because I'm trying to remember the combinations that worked before. Basically, he's a lot of work. He's kind of a lot of upkeep for, I think, questionable game. Let's see. 1, 3, and let's do my 2. I have nearly maxed range, so I go very, very far. I really need to get my duration higher. I really, really do. Let's do... what? 3 and 4 for radiation, and we'll pop my 4. Okay, I think he killed that Nox, but it did hurt him.
Area complete. Move on.
In addition to the
Here is a terminal.
fused element that you put in there,
And get ready
I'll
to
find
defend.
a less hectic environment to do this in at some
I'm
point,
in,
I swear.
This will take a moment.
And I'll do a, I'll go to his tips screen and explain some of this stuff. Oh, that's magnetic. I don't want that. Go away. Sugar. But yeah, now I can't cast my 3 or my 4 at all until that's done. So I'm kind of assed out. I didn't want to go that way.
You're making waves, dreamers. I can feel.
This thing is about to explode and die. I don't want that. We have no defensive abilities. It is just getting shot up. I don't know where the rest of the team is, but they're not defending the objective, which is suboptimal.
The odds against
And this character does not have any useful buffing abilities other than his 3, which is kind of useful. I couldn't tell you exactly what it does for other people offhand. All in all, I kind of put Lavos in a slightly less useful version of the Oberon category, in that he's a jack of all trades, but kind of doesn't seem to fit anywhere too easily, because there tend to be options that cover what he does a little better. Like if you want nuking, there's other frames that do that for less effort invested. If you want scooting across the ground and leaving behind a DOT area, there's always Nezha, and you don't have to worry about a cooldown. His 1 and 2 cool down very quickly, but every now and again you're like, oh, well, I kind of want to actually cast more than once per 5 seconds if I possibly could. So let me go to his wrong screen abilities. So they've got tips. Let me just go over a breakdown of his abilities and what they're intended to do. So you lash out with a toxic serpentine strike, consuming the target to heal Lavos. That's good. Healing yourself is nice. And then you hold down, or in my case, tap, because I had to switch everything in order to use a certain other frame more easily. We'll set that aside for now. That's another discussion. And you can infuse all your abilities with Toxin. So that's cool. His Vial Rush, dash forward, crashing through enemies, leaving an icy trail of broken vials. Cool. Especially cool because it uses cold damage. And if you hold the button, it'll imbue any of your other abilities for 1 cast with ice, cold, whatever. That's cool. Transmutation Probe. Launch a probe that converts health and energy orbs into universal orbs that provide both, and ammo pickups into universal ammo pickups. The probe shocks enemies in close proximity. Each electrocuted foe reduces other ability cooldowns by 1 second, which is very good. Which is why I have range on it. And then Catalyze, which basically is like, if there are status effects in your vicinity, it's going to make them die. Catalyst probes are up from Lavos and douse combatants in fiery gel. Damage is doubled for each element afflicting an enemy. With this, you can do a lot of damage on high-level enemies, but you have to have affected them with status first, and a lot of the stuff that's going to affect things with status first, well, you probably have killed it already. So, kind of like, I like the idea, but it seems to have been made kind of in a vacuum. Just a little. And then if you hold the button down, you'll imbue with heat. So that's when doing the elemental mix-up stuff comes into play. So say I'm fighting Grenier, then I'm going to probably be doing Toxin. I'm going to hold 1 and hold 3 to get Corrosive, because Corrosive armor on armor is very good. If they don't have armor, then I'll probably do either 1 and 2 for Viral, or 3 and 4 for Radiation. What's his passive again? Energy and universal orbs give status immunity to Lavos for 10 seconds. That's also very good. Status immunity is awesome. So you don't have to worry about being chipped to death by slash damage or a number of other things. Hold any ability to imbue the next, and that second part is just what he does by default anyway. Hold any ability to imbue the next cast with additional elemental damage and status. That's just his basic ability set does. So tips. Let's see what they have for tips, if there's anything useful here that I need to know. Elemental damage can be combined and imbued into Lavos abilities in 2 ways. Hold 2 abilities together, or hold a single ability and then another to create the desired combined elemental damage type. Why you wouldn't just always do a double and then whatever the mono element of that ability is, I cannot guess. More status effects is always better. None of them counteract each other, really. Note these are all elemental, so he can't do stuff like slash damage. It's just not in the cards. I don't think even Ophidian Bite does slash damage. It's pure Toxin. Yeah. Clear the current imbued elemental damage type by casting any of Lavos' abilities. Easy. All of Lavos' abilities can deal 2 status effects at once, the base element tied to the ability itself, as well as whatever element you choose to imbue. So, you can do interesting effects like gas and heat at the same time by doing his 4, his 1, and then casting 4. And then you'll do heat from catalyze and then gas, because gas normally has heat in it. Imbued elements are added on top of the base ability, doubling the damage. It is always better to imbue an element before casting your abilities. This is true. That's practically your default state. If you don't have an element imbued, you have messed up. Non-damaging status effects will imply multiple stacks at once when imbued into Lavos' abilities. That's interesting. I did not know that. I don't know how many stacks it imbues, though, so that doesn't tell me a lot. So that's pretty interesting. I guess that means that ice then is doing, or cold, because that's I think the only one that doesn't damage outright, actually. Doesn't it? Heat damages, toxin damages, electricity damages. Cold you could argue damages, but I guess doesn't. Radiation doesn't damage in and of itself, so that would also be one, and so I guess would corrosive. So I guess you get up to higher radiation and corrosive stacks sooner. And viral, I suppose. Because that doesn't do damage on its own. Most of them, I guess, barring the mono elements. But it doesn't tell me how many stacks it gives. If it gives a full stack of like 10, because I think corrosive and stuff go up to a max of 10, that would be pretty rad. Radical, as opposed to radiation. Giggle. Increased ability duration will also increase the duration of status effects. Oh, more reason to have max duration then. Combined with his high armor stat, Ophidian Bite makes Lavos a tough Warframe to kill. The healing scale is based on total damage dealt, so try to hit multiple enemies at once. That's actually really good to know. Vile Rush can be interrupted by casting the ability again or by jumping. I didn't know that. That's cool. So I can stop scooting across the entire map. Number of Vile Rush charges is affected by range mods. Well, I have a lot of that. Effective use of Lavos' abilities requires mastery of Transmutation Probe, which is his 3. Cast into a group once all abilities are on cooldown for greatest effect, because it grants cooldown on enemies hit. Recasting the Transmutation Probe as it is moving will pause the probe in place. I will have to remember that. Since Lavos does not require energy, ability efficiency mods only change the effectiveness of Transmutation Probe's cooldown reduction. And Catalyze's damage is doubled for each unique status effect applied to the target. Take advantage of Catalyze's exponential damage scaling by teaming up with Warframes like Saren or Ember. So he can be a devastating nuke if you've got a lot of stuff going on, but a lot of the time you have a lot of stuff going on in terms of status effects on enemies, they're probably already dead anyway. I actually don't know, because that says damage is doubled for each element afflicting an enemy, and I don't think physical damage types, physical status effects count. I think it is only elemental types. So, somebody that inflicts a lot of slash probably isn't doing you any good. I haven't tested that. So for all I know, I am wrong in that, and that would be good to know. So he's interesting. I'm still waiting for him to click. Actually, if I do that change, I'm going to regret it so much. No, I'll leave it on taps and then hold to cast ability. I'll leave it at that. That's fine. I am going to, however, do a max duration build real quick, because that's easy to put together. Duration. Narrow-minded. Plop. Which reduces my range, which is bad, but we can counteract that. Give me a minute. I need to put in an aura. That is a hyphen aura. Go away. And we'll go with corrosive projection. Duration. Constitution. Oh yeah, I keep meaning to find out what energy orbs are supposed to do, because I see me picking them up, but I don't know what they're accomplishing when I do that. We don't want that. What is the other one? Oh yeah, auger message, yes. That's most of my duration all set. Now I have to get some damage in. Damage. Oh, and range. I need some range. Range. Overextended reduces strength. I'm going to have to counteract that. Because I do want as much strength as I can get. Let me get stretch on there. Let me get... I could probably leave it at that. I'd like auger reach, but I'm going to need room for other things. Blind rage will nuke my efficiency, but that's not necessarily the most important thing in the world, though cooldown reduction, taking a hit is bad. Where does that get me? That gets me at 139 strength, which is kind of crap. No cooldown reduction from that. There, it's basically zilched. And the range exists. There is range there. Mostly we're going with duration, though. Duration is going to make things very interesting as far as this is concerned, because that'll last for... Doesn't say how long that lasts for. It says the cooldown reduction. It says the range. It says the cooldown. It does affect status duration, which is good. But doesn't actually say anything useful about how long that's going to hang around. Incidentally. 80 meters. Oh my god, that is huge. That just goes forever. It's only a 6-meter difference. That's interesting. Admittedly, my configuration A... Let me get these duration and range. And I'll make a third one that is all about strength. Pure power. Strength. Wow, nice. I know how to type, I swear. So let's get all these on here. Where are you? Power drift. I haven't unlocked that yet. I'll get to it. Augur secrets. 337% damage. Everything else is slapped right in the nose. That bumps the damage of that up to 6740. That's pretty good. And if you double that for all the various status effects you get on there, it's pretty good. But you have that tiny little status duration problem. So we want to get some duration on here. Flow doesn't do you any good at all because you have no energy. So me putting that on there changes exactly nothing. If it like went to your shields or something, it'd be nice, but there's just mods you simply will never equip because they will not do anything for you. Let's see. Because I only have 10 to work with. I can bop down to regular intensify. I don't need umbral intensify. So that gives me a lot more wiggle room. Prime continuity I'll probably put in there because that'll get my duration up there. And I can live with reduced efficiency if I have to. Yeah, because narrow-minded is going to kill my range, and I don't want that. And I don't have the juice to really do anything more about that. So that's probably fine, I guess. I'd like to have more efficiency, but I can live without it. It's just that I'm not going to be able to cast my 4 all that often. But this will mean my 4 is quite effective indeed. So let me get Arcanes in here. Energize does me no good at all, so we go probably with where's the ones I Aegis and what's it called? Grace. Guardian? I could do Grace. Grace or Guardian. Guardian's nifty because it'll work no matter what. It'll apply the armor bonus regardless of whether you're taking shield damage or health damage. But armor only protects your health. So it's kind of... I don't really like Arcane Guardian, but here I can sort of see it being relevant. I might go with Grace instead, to be honest. Yeah, I'll go with Arcane Grace instead. Make me harder to kill. Always a good thing. I'd like to put Adaptation on, but I don't have the juice at the moment. I could, indeed, probably will. I'm gonna go with my Duration build and see how that feels. Because that's fairly well-rounded, other than efficiency being non-existent. It's a spy mission. You know what? Spy missions are easy. I have confidence in myself. Is there a prime reach? Not yet. Not that I know of. Let me double check. Certainly I don't have it, and I'm pretty sure if there was a prime reach, I would like to know about it. So let me check the Warframe wiki. And make sure that there isn't a prime reach. I'm pretty sure there isn't. Primed reach. See, this is saying that there might be a primed reach. Oh, there is a primed reach, but that's for melee. I still am using Zeneric. I don't need Zeneric. If you mean like a primed stretch, I'll take C. There is, and I'll double check that too, there is a primed reach, but there is not a primed stretch as far as I know. For power range. I eagerly await the day that there is one, because I've got a number of builds that are just waiting for me to put it on there. Octavia will love it. I will love it in general. In fact, there are many frames that would benefit from such a thing. Do I have, like, Firewalker on here? Am I taking electrical damage from something? I'm taking electrical damage from something, and it's just lasting forever. Okay, oh, this is an easy room.
Trigger the alarms now, and they will start. You've triggered the alarms. Lose this data, and the mission will be a
I didn't
complete
trigger the
failure.
alarm, someone else did. Ha. So there, it wasn't me.
Data extracted.
Smooth and sleek.
Who's in control now, suckers? Security.
I'm not gonna go towards B, I'm gonna go...
Alarms successfully hacked. The location returning to normal security levels. We allowed the enemy to
Nice,
destroy all
so
the data.
somebody just bailed and we lost the mission. So let me... That was no fault of mine. I'd like to state for the record, I did not mess up. This time. Primed... Would it be stretch? Yeah, there's no primed stretch as far as I know. Google.com, Warframe, what? Primed stretch. We'll probably never get a primed streamline. There is no primed stretch yet. Although I think it would be nice to have. Especially since you could put in just you could get equivalent range numbers as you currently have without having to put in as many mods, which would be kind of the entire point. But I would love it. I can think of dozens of frames that would benefit. I can think of a bunch of frames that wouldn't benefit, but not very many of those. Mostly frames that would benefit. Alright, we're going to try the spy again. And then for the final one, I haven't decided if I'm going to bring a mag or not. Because mag makes Vayhak fairly trivial, if kind of still obnoxious. So I'll probably go with my mag. But it looks like there is not yet a primed stretch yet. There is a primed reach, though, for melee. That makes your melee range go up to +3 meters, I think, which sounds like a small number, but really isn't. I'll take C.
The lookout for increased security measures.
Eh?
The enemy would rather destroy their data than let it get into our hands.
Oh. There you are. Hey, what up? Hey, goodbye. It's a ways out here. I'm hoping it's one of the easy rooms. There's one room I don't want it to be. In particular.
The target console is nearby. If you trigger the alarms now,
And this is not it, so we're good. This one is very manageable, provided the secret access corridors are available. I hit that, but it didn't go off. I do not care.
data extracted. They won't even
I
know it's
flubbed
gone.
that a little. That alarm should have absolutely gone off. There was no reason for it not to. But I'm not complaining.
Watch yourself.
I'm very happy about it, in
Are on
fact.
the way.
Because that was me being less than perfect, and we could never accept that in our plucky host. I think I'm heading towards the exit right now. Yes, I'm at the exit. Very good. I'll just wait here a minute. I need to get rid of Zener. Or I need to use a different one than Zener. Oh, I know the one. What is it? Is it Naramon? No, not Naramon. What's the other one? Madarai, I think, provides a boost to elemental damage, so I'll bring that. Let me get this plopped down. Oh, he already got it, because he's a champion.
Invalid request. There are no security protocols active.
Oh. Oh. Well. Oh, I see. Okay. Wow, that doesn't last very long, does it? Does it stay the same duration no matter what? Now I've got to... Wiki. I gotta check Lavos' wiki page so I can actually know if that has a duration change, because it didn't look like it changed at all. Oh, well, or I can just hit the button, that's fine. Lavos. So that went well. Lavos. Abilities. Abilities. Transmutation. Okay. Now I'm going to change my frame, because if I have to fight Vayhak, now I have to use a shotgun. I have a shotgun equipped, which I'm actually going to make sure has extra punch through just in case. We like punch through. In fact, I could make a maximum punch through and see what that does. Seeking Force. One Hell's Chamber on there. What's the other one called? Seeking Fury. Primed. Nope, not Ravage. Point Blank. Charged Shell. And that's about all I can fit on there. What else can I put on here? Tactical Pump for additional reload speed. Meh. Narrow Barrel. Meh. Chilling Reload. But that's going to give me damage I don't want. I do not want Magnetic. That will not end well. Tactical Pump. Easily done. This is going to do no damage to him at all. So this is going to be real fun. Oh god, I didn't know I had that in the playlist. I have regret. Whatever. Nobody's seen that show. I can live on in my in-jokes. I want Mag. Actually, I'm going to bring the Exorgus. Because it slaps. It goes slap. Yeah, we'll keep that. That's probably fine. I think he's weak to radiation. I don't know. I don't remember. I think this thing has near infinite punch through as is, doesn't it? Okay, or just 1.7 punch through. That's fine. Yeah, we're good. I'm barely eyeballing what it has. Does this have steel on it? No, it does not. I need to make sure that's on. Appearance, Regalia, Back Sigil, Steel. There we go. Alright. So there's actually a cute... It's not a trick, glitch, or exploit, I don't think. I don't think it's a glitch. It may be an exploit. Where if you just straight up ignore Vehek when he appears mid-mission and keep going to where you think the ending is going to be, you bypass all the little mini-fights in between. Which, kinda good. This is not my duration mag, is it? Oh no, I made a terrible mistake. Okay, I think it was over here. Alright, 50-50 that it's going to go through here or to the side. Yes, okay. So he's back there. I just nodded my head backwards so you can't see me doing that. He's back a ways. We're ignoring him entirely. Yes, somebody else knows the trick. Cool. It is not... Is it through here? Yes! This is where it is. Very good. I am so good, I hurt myself. I'm gonna wait for people to catch up, though. Actually. If I follow this guy, it should be fine. Oh, he's still here. Neat. Oh, no. That's right. I forgot. They changed mag. It's not good. So... Come on. Come on. Come on. Reveal your dingus, please. Don't take that literally. Do what I mean, not what I do say. There we go. Easy. Part 1 done. Yeah. Sure. Good for you, buddy. And he did. Hey, heck! He's really hard. Definitely. Definitely hard. So that went very well. Vehek, really annoying, unless you know how to just kind of ignore him. I got lucky that I had allies with highly damaging weapons. I've been stuck on missions where I was the only one with a gun that did anything. And pain.
Bothering us anymore. Let's get out of here.
Much pain. I'll take the Anassa. Better than Kuva. I don't like getting Kuva because it reminds me that Rivens exist. And I feel obligated to use Rivens occasionally to get ludicrous power creep. Haha, I got 9 kills. I'm so good. Look at me. Actually, who did the most damage there out of interest? Probably not me. I took 88% of the damage though. That's nice. Yeah, I didn't do anything. I had a bubble. I made a bubble and it did a thing, so that was fine. This is alright. So we'll go back to Lavos, I guess. Lavos. Okay, so Lavos. I'm looking for anything that indicates duration whatsoever. Three seconds. Oh, tell me that's modifiable. Come on, guys. Don't hurt me like this. Cooldown per enemy shocked is capped at 1.75. It would be because efficiency is capped at an additional. It is capped at 175%. So that makes sense. That's kind of awful. You would not want to invest in that, I would think. Does not care about line of sight. That's good to know. Durations. Because it looks, according to this, like it's going to stay just for 3 seconds no matter what I do. So a range build is basically the only... A range plus damage build is like the only way to go. If I'm reading this correctly, which is... It is very possible I am not. Oh, that's interesting. Ophidian Bite also grants melee finisher vulnerability? Somehow? I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't know that was a status effect. Let's read the detail here. Serpents uncoil from arms, lashing outward in 100-degree cone, spanning 8 meters in front of Lavos. Enemies in direct line of sight in range receive a venomous bite that inflicts X amount of toxin and X amount of imbued damage, while briefly opening the affected enemies to melee finisher prompts. Oh, okay. That's really cool. I didn't notice that. So that's handy. I'll have to use that from time to time to get a quick finisher on people. Okay, so Transmutation Probe has about 1 million words worth of text. I'm trying to skim it for the useful thing that I'm looking for, which is duration. Yes, okay. Probe speed, probe duration, and status procs per second and cooldown are not affected by mods. So duration is not great other than increasing status duration, and you probably don't care too much about that. So we're going to ignore our duration builds. We're going to use our power build and switch it from using duration to using range. You're gone. Range. Overextended then is an option. But let's go with stretch and reach then. Yeah, let's work with that. Not what I wanted to do. Power. We're going to swap duration and power and range. With range, what I really want to do, I can get rid of adaptation to do it. There's a lot of things I can get rid of here. Is I can get rid of... Actually, if I put in... No, that'll only give me 4, won't it? So if I go with, what are you called? My weaker, that's only going to open up, I think, 1 point. Let me double check. Yeah, it's only going to open up 1 point. Because I want to get that maxed out. But I can't. So we're not going to worry about it. Not worrying about it. We're going to try with this power build, see if that feels at all good. So far, it's kind of kludgy because you have to remember to put in an element and then put in the actual ability cast. So let's do like some relic farming real quick so we can get a little more accustomed to how he behaves. Sabotage is probably good for that. That's about to end, so we'll go with... Actually, yeah, we'll go with... We'll at least get one run into this, because I have a million Lith relics. So yeah, how are people doing? Thanks everybody who's tuned in at the moment. I appreciate it. I do not get much traffic. Oh, that reminds me, I've got all my frame farming I've got to do. Whatever, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. That's right, Vanilla Sanctuary Onslaught. I can get Korra components.
There is a large platoon being stationed here. Leave no one standing.
Alright, so what I want to do then was exactly not that.
You found a fissure. Look for reactants. The enemies are dropping reactants. You are going to need more reactant if you want to get that relic.
Oh, I wanted to switch back to his other gun. Yeah, so that's apparently just 3 seconds on the dot no matter what you do, which is... What do you mean? Okay, fine, dude. Some people are bad actors, I've noticed, and it seems to be pretty bad lately where you get some really salty folk.
The relic has been crashed on. Finish your mission to find out what's inside. You're still in the clear. No detection of enemy sensors. You have broken their ranks. They are on another successful mission. Find extraction.
So those probe things do deal quite a bit of damage. This is low-level stuff, so it is not a big deal. I like it. Yes, I will take a Redeemer Prime blueprint for 45 ducats. This is fine. So yeah, it is a very active playstyle for Lavos. I do like that.
Excellent work, Tenno.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and look through my list of frames that I actually need to get for Helminth special wording. Subsuming. Subsuming. And we're going to farm for one. I know I need to do Equinox. That's going to take forever, though. Because I need to basically run Till Regger over and over and over and over and over again until I get all 6 components. 6 components. I don't even know how many of those I have, if any. Let me check. Equinox. Equinox. Oh, I have the night aspect. That's great. That's right. You need to get 6 components to build both the night aspect and the day aspect. So I actually need 7. Yeah? 7? Because I think the night aspect also drops from the same place. Let me double check that. Equinox, here we go. Or do you buy that from the market? Yes, they do indeed. Also drop. From the same place. So I do need to get 7 components. Let me check night, and day. Yeah, no, okay. So yeah, I have to get 7 different components and get lucky with those drops. And then you have to build 6 of them at once for the Equinox, for the night, and there's a day aspect respectively. And so you need the night systems, neuroptics, and chassis, and I'm pretty sure you have to craft those, don't you? Yeah, you have to craft those, I think. Yeah. And those are 12 hours apiece. And then you need the day equivalent of day aspect, which is neuroptics, chassis, and systems. So you need all 6 of those to make the night aspect and the day aspect, which you don't see here. So that's, if you have them all at once and you do them all at once, it's 12 hours, plus 72 hours for the night and day aspects each. So if you do those at the same time, it's 72 hours. If you do only one at a time, then it's like an entire week. And then in order to manufacture Equinox itself, I think is another 72. So, and there's no avoiding that unless you pay plat to skip it. And I'm not doing that at this stage because at least it is farmable. The ones I am looking at skipping, though, are the ones where I have to farm Samaris standing. Oh my god. Because you need like 125,000 Samaris standing, I think. I believe, for a bunch of these. For each one. So stuff like Limbo, Titania, Mirage, and Inaros, I believe, all require, in order to get a spare, 125,000 Samaris standing. And if you are lucky, from Samaris, from one of his dailies, you're getting maybe 10. Maybe. Usually more like 5, plus whatever you're getting from any of the scans, call that like 3,000 or so. So you're getting maybe like, if you're getting 15,000 standing from him per day, it's kind of a goddamn miracle. You can boost that because you still have the, whatever I'm at, 30,000 limit, but in order to actually reach the scan limit, I'd have to sit around scanning enemies for like a month, because they only give like 100 standing tops. So instead of going for any of that, we're going to go for something rather more manageable. And that is going to be, I think, Nova. Actually, what I want to check first is the Arbiters of Hexus real quick, so I can get Grendel components. Because Grendel I also want. I think he will be quite handy. Grendel is a special case. Where are you? It's not miscellaneous. It's Arbiters of Hexus. There we go. Visit. Visit the Arby's. Now for Grendel, he's kind of special because in order to get his components, not medallions, arbitration honors.
You have come to collect honors earned through arbitration.
Where are you, Grendel bits? There they are. So each one of these, and I need a lot more Vitus Essence. I I need like 20 more, 21 more, which isn't so bad, actually. That's doable. I could probably do that in a run if I'm lucky. So each of these have a very specific... These are basically mission beacons, and they make a mission. And in this mission, anything you have equipped, you can't have mods on. Weapons included. Weapons or frames. Now, I think augments work. Augments work, maybe. Most of these aren't too bad. One of them, at least one of them, is a defense mission. And that one's kind of tricky, but also I thought a lot of fun. I know a bunch of people who didn't like it at all, but I was like, this is a blast. This is the most fun I've had in Warframe in ages, because it actually felt like a reasonable challenge. Because it was very set. You knew what you were getting. And what you were getting was using things like Limbo to cheese the crap out of the mission. You just had to pay attention. You had to pay a lot more attention. But I was very fond. So I need to do Arby's missions. I'll check that to see if we've got something interesting up for Arby's. What is here? Air release on kill, refresh, double jump up to 6 times while airborne? That's cool. I don't know any time I'd ever use that, but that would be neat to use. Preparation... Oh. 100% maximum energy is filled on spawn. That's... Gosh. I can think of a few builds I could fit that in if I really wanted to, but at 12 cost, I'd be hard-pressed. Rolling Guard is very nice. I do have a spare of that, though, which is good. Because I want to get that maxed out. Because you can be... literal invulnerability for 3 seconds if it's maxed out. And then 7-second cooldown every time you roll. Within every 7 seconds. Every 7 seconds. Ugh. Cautious shot wouldn't be bad, but hard to fit on a lot of weapons. Vigorous swap is strong, because it gives you plus 165 damage after you whip it out. The weapon, I mean. Other than that, these are the 3 that I need to get. So I'm going to check real quick the arbitration missions, and if I don't see something that I like the combination of, I'll probably go to, I'll grind up, actually I'll grind up the stuff for Chroma, because that's a lot easier to focus on, because I only need 2 components for him. He's another one you would have to spend a ton of Samara standing to get. And I'm looking at that, I'm like, ugh, I will farm prime parts and sell them to buy these things, because I don't want to have to... It'll take me less time. Arbitrations, where are they? Where are arbitrations? Good God, there we go. Oh, it's a defection? Ha! Nope. Not on your life. Better yet, it's a Loki. Loki on defection using whatever the Keratinos is. The Keratinos, I think, are a melee weapon, and they're fine. Loki doesn't benefit a lot from strength, so no. We will wait till that's done. So we will go instead, because in order to build Chroma, you need, and I have all the Chroma components, which is good. I'm so glad that I have the spares. I don't know how I got the spares, but I have them. Chroma. In order to build Chroma, you need a spare Volt Neuroptics for the main blueprint, a Frost chassis for the Chroma chassis, an Ember Neuroptics for the Chroma Neuroptics, and a Saren Systems for the Chroma Systems. This ties into his theme of elemental swapping. To do that, though, isn't going to be a big hairy deal. All I need at the moment are the Frost Chassis and Saren Systems, and I know where to go to get those. We're going to get the Frost Chassis first, which is on Series, on the node called Exta. We're going to get the Cedo out real quick. Cedo. Because we want to use that. We are not going to use the goofy build I had for Punch Through. We're going to use this one. I don't actually remember what that is. I think that's Lech Krill. How do I fight Lech Krill again? Well, we're about to find out, aren't we? This is probably not the frame on which to do it. Series Kerez? I don't actually know how that's pronounced. We're looking for Exta. Exta, there we go. Yes. Oh, it's Krill and Vor. Well, here you'll see Fraggoth flail around madly at a boss fight. Hooray me.
We contracted you with a mark. We're here to find your mark and eliminate the assigned target. This
I keep forgetting that I still have Xanaric equipped. Sorry. Flute in my mouth as I'm choking half to death. And I do not want Xanaric equipped. I believe it's Maturai. That's the one. We want Maturai. Activate. Now, what that also means in practical terms is I'll have Phoenix Talons for physical damage boost and some tweaked other stuff. Blinding, and I'll also be able to shoot fire out of my operator. So that's neat. I also really have to get a functioning ribbon. Or I want to open this ribbon up to see if it winds up being a Shieldegg ribbon, but I'm not going to worry about it for now. I don't need it maxed out yet. It is not critical. Alright. So here we go. So this is a double boss fight that I remember being a fairly big deal when it first came out, and everybody immediately forgot about it. Forgot that it existed once everyone had gotten what they needed from it. Which was, at the time, I think the Miter and the... It was a, like, dual submachine gun, I think. What was it? Not the Stubba. It was before the Stubba. Oh, it looked like nail guns. They looked like dual nail guns. That's basically how they worked. They were okay. That's right, I don't have to do the Xanaric dash. I have other things I can do.
I recommend you focus your attacks on that target. If you split your attention, you may fail.
I see you.
Assassination attempts are not to be taken lightly.
Oh, that missed. That's cool.
Significant impact on enemy forces. Search the area. Leave no survivors. Keep none of the scanners have detected you.
So, I don't actually remember how to fight Lech Krill off the top of my head. I know he's got invulnerability phases, and after that my brain just kind of blanks. Vor, on the other hand, is a lot more straightforward. I think you have to shoot specific parts of Krill's body. We're not going to worry about any of this trash. We don't care. We don't care. I want to get high. Up here, vertically.
You're making this too easy.
Alright.
Target acquired. Take them down.
This one has your name. Strike into Renier. This will hurt.
Probably not as much as this will. Let's try 3-1. Okay. Okay, one down. Now for the hard part. Because I don't remember how to damage Krill. There we go. I guess that's how. I have high damage weapons, so it's like one hit and they go into their invulnerability phase, so it's kind of hard to gauge. I think for this guy, I just have to dance around a lot until he does the hammer again. Do I have to hit him in the back?
You will join us, one way or another.
Well, nothing seems to be happening. I haven't fought Lech Krill in a dog's age, and I've never liked... Oh dear. The invulnerability phase enemy bosses.
Your corpse will serve us well.
Okay, he's got one hosey vent thing sticking off. We can't actually hurt him until he pulls out his hammer for good and starts hitting me with flame damage. Oh, that's not working. Interesting, that actually had the status effects on him. I don't think they do anything though. There we go. Now he should pull out the hammer and try to beat me to death, and this is where it gets real easy. It's just a waiting game. So I've got to go do that, like, a bunch of other times, I think. Unless he's not actually dead. Nope, he's dead.
Target down. Assassination contract.
So we'll see if we got the relevant drop in the first try. Wouldn't that be nice? Do any of us really expect such a thing to happen? Haha, no! That's a locked door signal. I don't want that. Freebie unlocks, rejoice. That's right, I can jump to cancel that. I need to remember that. I can jump to cancel that. No, it's Frost Chassis, right? Yeah, Frost Chassis. Okay. One down. One down. Actually, I should really type into chat hosting Frost Farm.
Ordis has received messages for the operator.
Probably the, yeah, it's the stalker.
Read them.
Your actions have consequences, Tenno. You wouldn't try to download a car, Tenno. That would be bad and against the law. Don't copy that floppy, Tenno. It would be illegal. So, I guess what I can do is pick a frame that'll make this even cheesier. Who would cheese this even more? Mirage isn't even relevant at this point because I do too much damage anyway. And Mirage will just make it more of a chuckle fest. Like, I won't even know the difference because they're getting one shot anyway for all intents and purposes. So, I could do Grendel. I can do things to make this fight even more idiot-proof than it already is. So we're going to do it with Protea first. I'll do Grendel next. I'll have to change it up because I'll go crazy if I don't. Because this could take a while. Alright, I'm going to put into chat here. Hosting Frost Farm /4. I'll give this 30 seconds. And if I don't get any takers, I'm out. I'm gonna do it on my own. It'll take me less time. Coming up on that time limit awful quick. I decided I'd give him a minute. I'm just waiting for the minute to tick over. Now, safe money is that Proteus 2 will not track the bosses. I do not think it will. We're about to find out. But we're gonna... I just remembered that I need energy for this build. Oh no. Well... I need seed energy anyway. I only need a little. I need 75 in order to get the... Oh wow, I actually joined someone else? What? Weird, man. There's other people playing this game. Crazy. You Seagar yourself, dude.
Assassination target is here.
I think it does have my name on it, actually. Ah! I don't even know what's going on there. Are they bouncing between them? That's awesome. I want more.
Get ready for a tough fight.
So Cedo just became my favorite weapon in the game. I didn't want to do that.
Prosecutor eliminated.
Is it
Watch
shooting?
out for more.
Yeah, it is shooting him. Wow, that's kind of cool. Actually, it looks like it's shooting to the side of him. Okay, now I need energy again, though. I have a solution to that problem. I think he's dead, Jim.
Nice work taking down the VIP. Now get to extraction. Watch yourself. Grenier.
Alright, Frost Chassis, am I right? Right. So it's going to be the Frost Neuroptics. But we love the Frost Neuroptics. It's better than the Frost Chassis. We don't need the Frost Chassis for anything. So if it gave us a Frost Chassis, we'd be really disappointed, right, RNGesus? We'd be so disappointed we'd cry and we'd sacrifice our firstborn child to you, RNGesus, if you gave us... just so we wouldn't get a Frost Chassis. And never have to grind this ever again in our entire lives. I like that reload animation. It's actually really slick. Reload animations in this game tend to be pretty slick, actually. They're not the slickest, but they are slick. I know not where this man is attempting to go, but it is not to me.
A prosecutor is approaching.
You know what I can do, though? Please just stand on the point, dude. Please, 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 please. Don't let this run out while you're still running around. You will look like the biggest dink in the world. You're the biggest dink in the world, Dragons199. I'm already here. Why? What's over here? Should I care about what's over here? This certainly not okay cells. That's not what I care about.
Stay alert. There could be more ahead.
I don't even know that I got one.
Target down. Assassination contract complete.
We got the frost systems again, which I'm not surprised by. Oh, we got the miter handle. The miter is pretty cool. It actually gets a really cool mod that you can equip that makes it so that the saw blades it shoots out automatically pop nullifier bubbles, which gives it utility. It's okay. I like the gun. I think the gun is fun. It's a goofy gun. I like goofy guns. Goofy gimmick guns are the best. Alright, so now that I know that I need Xeneric again, which I just remembered. Where are you, Xeneric? Need is a strong word, but it'll make my life a lot easier. I could just use an energy pizza, but which don't look like pizzas anymore. But we still call them energy pizzas. Hey, Hervy07. Hervy? Harvey? HRVY underscores O or 07. Hi. How are you? What are you even tuning in from? It must be from Twitch, I think. Alright. Let's get this up to 75 energy and plop down one of these, and then we'll get a lot more than 75 energy. And we're rolling. Lech Krill, not Lech. Lech Krill. It's not pronounced Lich unless there's a T.
None of the scanners have detected you.
It's Lech. Unless you're from like Wales or something, but then you'd be Welsh. And that would be okay too. I can indeed please help you. Give me a moment to wrap this mission up and I will be right there with you. Do you have it on PC? Because that is what I have it on. If you do not have it on PC, I will have great difficulty in helping you. But I will still endeavor to do so, regardless.
Thor and Krill are waiting for you.
Perfect. Alright, let me wrap this up. This will just take me a minute. If I can jump straight up. Interrupted by a cutscene. I'll just let these do all the work. Plop you down. Oh my gosh, look at that. It just bounces between targets. This is the best gun ever. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Just goes. Oh. I'm overjoyed. You really have no idea. You have no idea how overjoyed I am about that works. Alright, that's excessive, but we're doing it anyway. So none of that's doing any damage because they're in an invulnerability phase. This too shall pass. Ah, he did. Gotta turn that off. There we go.
Nice work taking down the VIP. Now get to
Alright, so let me get to the mission end here. I am speeding, I realize. It's kind of a default state when you have a goal-oriented mission structure. The other guy was running around doing farming stuff, and that's fine. I do indeed got Discord. If you have a server, I will happily join it. I technically have one, but I don't actually use it for anything. Let me get that posted in a moment. Nobody's in that Discord, so I'll have to actually dig for it. So bear with me. Normally, I just lurk in other people's Discords. I'm gonna wait for this guy to catch up by doing semi-productive things. Wow, that thing just keeps going forever. It just goes down corridors. The Cedo, man, this gun is great. I'm glad it finished building when it did. So I can't go until this dude goes. Well, I could actually stand on the thing for a minute, but Whee! Can I shoot bullets? Yeah, I can. Okay.
Target down.
Alright, let me find what that Discord is.
Great
Got
work.
a miter blueprint and a frost chassis. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, let me get that building. And I will get you added real quick. Oh, he's got an Umbra Excalibur and everything. I got mods. I do have mods. Which mods do you inquire about? Oh, 1 sec, I've got a phone call. Alrighty, sorry about that, folks. I may have to stop early because something just came up. Which is, of course, typical. 1 sec, Harvey. Let me get you added to Discord real quick. Oh, God. I'm so sorry about the music. To think I went out of my way. Oh, now I get the text message. Nice. Super late. This is what happens. Alright, here we go. I'm having a multitask. I apologize. Alright. Let me see here. What is this thing doing? Oh, come on now. Now Discord's just sitting there. Give me a sec. I'm so sorry. Come on. Is it updating? What is it doing? Do something, please. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Why is this being this way? Just when I thought I could get in, it isn't letting me, Bear with me a moment. Ah, here we go. Okay. I have sent a Discord friend request. I do have a server, but nobody's in it. Ever. For any reason. Actually, I've got the ugeek.com server I could route you to. I can probably do that. Yeah, let me do that. That's probably the easiest way. Let me... invite you. Alright, I have sent an invite. I'm waiting for someone to get back to me real quick via text message, and hopefully I can. If I can't, I can't. I'll find out in a minute. Oh, that's good. Alright, so tell you what, they have just gotten back to me via text. So I'm going to put this briefly on pause. Give me about half an hour, I think. Yeah, that's probably how long this is going to take, if I'm realistic. So give me half an hour, and I will be with you, I promise. This is something that I do have to actually take care of. I apologize in advance. But I will, yeah, no. So I do have to put the stream on pause for a bit, but thank you for tuning in. I will absolutely be back in half hour. All right, and even if I'm not, I will message you. So I'm gonna have to call it good for now, and I will be back. This is not an expected interruption, but it is an important one. Life interludes. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. But yeah, I'll be back in half an hour.